Shut up, you listen to my monkey mouth. There's a companion when you got pun on the canoa route. Hopped in a portal and got in a fight. Elias knocked him out. Bow, Naruto fighting style. Bow, UFC he tapped out. Bow, we win, we get crowned. Monkey mouth, monkey mouth, monkey mouth, monkey mouth.
Welcome back, Armchair Army. This is Joshua. This is going to be the 13th iteration of Armchair MMA, and this is going to be our UFC 276 review. As you can see, I'm not in my typical recording space. I've got Neji here. What's up, buddy? Hey, it's a good boy. I'm at home. I'm in my bedroom right now. My computer at the studio shit a brick. It's running on Windows, foolish me, and it didn't update, and now it won't recognize any audio devices out. I spent about 6 hours working directly with Windows customer support, couldn't get nowhere. I've got it with my brother right now, who's actually the one who built the computer for me, and I'm hoping that he's going to be able to get it fixed. He seems to have identified some issues, but it's still no guarantee. If that doesn't work, we're probably just going to hard reset the whole thing. Luckily, all my files are stored on an external. And if that doesn't work, then fuck, we're going to take it to a real life professional, and I'll be out of the house for the next week or however long it takes to get that whole situation hashed out. So I apologize if the audio is a little compromised, and if the video is a little compromised, or if you hear, distracting noises off in the background. I have housemates, and they have their own shit going on. The world doesn't stop because I'm trying to record a podcast, really, so I'm not going to make it so that the world stops because I'm recording one that's impolite. So, I hope it all works out, and I hope you guys enjoy it. But, enough about the bullshit, man. UFC 276 was an absolutely fantastic fight card, headlined by Israel Adesanya and Jared Cannonier, co-mained by Alexander Volkanovski and Max Holloway, and had a third really big fight between Sean Strickland and Alex Pereira. Now, there was a neat little dynamic going on between Israel Adesanya and Alex Pereira, which we'll get to. Just keep that in mind. But Israel Adesanya dominated his fight, man. What can you say? I mean, Jared won one round, in my opinion. He won one round. He got real aggressive and blew most of what he had left in the gas tank out. And he had a good fight, man. I'm not mad at Jared Cannonier at all. He won a round against him, and that's the champ, and he's fantastic. And he made him fight hard. He put him against the cage and stuff, and followed his game plan very well, which Israel Adesanya actually remarked on and complimented him on several times. And so again, props on Jared. Who's next? Probably going to be the person who won between Sean Strickland and Alex Pereira. Who's Alex Pereira? Israel Adesanya, I love his walkouts, man. He's great with his walkouts, but bruh, if you're gonna walk out with an urn that's supposed to be full of Jared's ashes, you got to go out there and bury him. Come on. The flamboyancy kind of hurts whenever it doesn't. There isn't that climax in the performance following to really follow through with it. And I'm not trying to knock Israel Adesanya's performance at all. He's an extraordinary champ. He did exactly what he needed to do to win. He's going to keep winning. He's going to keep doing him. He's going to get his knockouts along the way. Things are going to be great. And they are great currently, and they're going to continue to be great for the guy. But I feel like, if I'm being really frank, the walkout outperformed the performance in terms of excitement. The walkout created more suspense than climax that the fight was able to deliver on, and that kind of created a weird taste in my mouth at the end of the day. And so that's just my 2 cents on the matter. Keep doing you, Israel. Don't fucking stop, because I was like, it left a weird taste in my mouth. Like, keep doing you, bro. You've got millions of followers. I'm getting like 6 views of videos, so you're clearly doing something right, and I'm not. So maybe I ought to be humble and take notes. But the bottom line is, I'm here to express myself, and that's how I felt about it. The next thing that's happening for Israel Adesanya is he's fighting Alex Bahia. Alex Bahia looked fantastic. I had actually picked Sean Strickland. I thought that Sean Strickland was going to win. I thought that Sean Strickland was going to be able to mix in his wrestling a little bit more, pretty effectively, and turn it into like a dogfight, do some grappling, get in there, do some dirty boxing, Randy Couture him up. You know what I'm saying? And that's not how it went. He stayed out at Alex's range, and I mean, within a minute into the fight, I was like, "Oh, this is going to be bad." Alex just looked really, really fast and strong. Like, his 1-2s were like, they looked like they'd have hurt. Sean was wearing them very effectively. He's got a poker face from hell, but at the end of the day, I could tell that Alex was like packing some really, really serious heat. And I've seen him fight before, and I didn't quite get that impression before. Maybe he came out there and had like some real serious energy, or just seeing him in there against an elite opponent made it really more evident than seeing him do the same thing against opponents that weren't able to make him shine the way Sean Strickland was at number 3 or 4 or whatever he was ranked. So again, really good on Sean Strickland for taking the fight. Tough dude, got the right mindset for the UFC. Like, they love that dude. We love that dude. It's going to be nothing but good for Sean Strickland moving forward. And he's the one who really took the risk, going out there and fighting an unranked Alex Bahia while he's in the top 10 of his division, top 5 of his division, and risking it all like that. So real good on Sean for that. But at the end of the day, it was Alex's night. It was a first round knockout. It was like 2 minutes and 36 seconds into the first round. He got the knockout, and I saw where Jamahal, I always want to call him Jamahal, but on the broadcast they call him Jamal, but it's Jamahal, and so I would think it's Jamahal, but I'm really trying to be respectful, and they say Jamal on the broadcast, so I'm going to say it's Jamal Hill. Had actually slid into Sean Strickland's DMs and was telling him to look out for how this dude sets up like a 1-2 for a big hook over the top to the ear, and that's basically exactly what Alex did in this fight. And so keep an eye on Jamal Hill. The guy's got like really high fight IQ and like knows how to break this shit down. So he's someone to definitely keep an eye on, just on some side shit. But yeah, it looked like Alex was physically in like a different space than Sean Strickland. He looked way, way, way athletic in terms of his speed and his explosiveness and his power, and got the job done. I don't think there's any fight they're going to make outside of him and Israel Adesanya. And so if anybody isn't like aware of the history between Israel Adesanya and Alex Bahia knocked Israel Adesanya the fuck out in kickboxing. The videos are on YouTube. You can go look it up. Just look up Alex Bahia knocks out Israel Adesanya, and you'll see it, and you'll see dorks like me talking about it. But the point is that this dude has already beaten Israel Adesanya in a combat sports setting. And so that makes the fight really, really interesting, because we at the UFC level haven't seen Israel Adesanya lose yet. So, I mean, he's got the one loss on his record. I don't know where that came. I know it hasn't been in the UFC. And so we'll see what winds up happening, man. I don't know. I haven't really seen enough out of Alex Bahia to really know. I've only seen, I think, 3 fights out of him in the UFC now. So it's not like there's like a tremendous body of work for me to go look at. But I know that from what I've seen, he looks really impressive. I think that, obviously in the kickboxing setting, he did the damn thing. And frankly, in MMA, Israel's kickboxing. He's not really doing a lot in terms of dipping, fainting takedowns. Like, he's not really wrestling or using wrestling. Like, he's up there kickboxing and outclassing guys. And if he tries to do that against Alex, a guy who that's already not worked against, it might spell something bad. But with that being said, these are 4-ounce gloves. They were fighting in bigger gloves, and so that can be significant, right? Like, your ability to block is greatly reduced. Your ability to kind of sneak punches in is greatly increased, and your power translates a lot more. And so it's going to be interesting. Maybe I know Israel believes that he's got the advantage. So we're going to see how it pans out, man. I mean, I believe Alex Bahia has the power to knock him out. And I believe that Alex Bahia has the skill to touch him. I also believe that Israel Adesanya has the skill to win. If I had to gamble, if I had to pick, I'd pick Israel Adesanya. You don't pick against Israel Adesanya in a mixed martial arts setting. That's life. That's how I gotta pick it. But we can, that's been a solid 10 minutes on this fight. We can get on to the next thing. Which was featherweight Alexander Volkanovski defending his title for a second time against Max Holloway. He took the title from Max Holloway and then defended it against Max Holloway once, and then has now defended it against Max Holloway twice. And I saw that Max Holloway was going to social media and saying that he feels like they're going to need a fourth one to settle it. I don't know if that's the case, man. This one looked pretty decisive to me. That's 3 wins, and the third win was the most decisive out of them all. It might be settled, man. It might be settled. I hate to say that because I'm the biggest Max Holloway bopper. I might literally go and still have it saved, the tab for me to go and get a hand-drawn portrait of Max Holloway to hang in my studio type shit. I'm a big popper, don't get me wrong. But if I'm just being objective and frank, I think that it's probably a wrap, right? Probably a wrap. Well, I wouldn't be personally I don't think I'd be personally super interested in seeing it. I think that I've seen enough of these two fighting, to be really honest. They're great. It's been fun fights every time, but this last time seemed like Alexander Volkanovski whooped that ass pretty good, man. In a lot of Max's fights, he has these long chain combinations, and the first he gets people going, if that makes sense. He'll come in and throw a couple, and they'll try and counter, and he's already ready for how they're going to counter, and he counters their counter, and that's where it's 1, 2, dip, 3, 4, 5, dip, 6, 7, 8, dip, and that's how he chains them together, at least as far as I can tell. And Alexander Volkanovski has had his timing every time that Max wanted to try and do that. Volk had him timed. He was hitting him with a big counter right hand over the top, and there wasn't really a whole lot that Max could do to that. He was hitting him. Max would try and get his little chains going, and he'd actually take a good shot or two, and so it just never really panned out the way it was supposed to. Yeah, and it was a pretty good ass whipping as far as I could tell that he took. I had Alexander Volkanovski by a landslide. So, I think the judges got it right. And that's that. I mean, things that are next for Alexander Volkanovski. I mean, let's see who is up there at featherweight. So, I mean, you could do a Josh Emmett fight. I wouldn't really want to see Yair Rodriguez. Yair Rodriguez got his ass whooped by Max Holloway recently, so I just think that he's probably not on that Volkanovski level at all. And Arnold Allen's on the come up. That's fun, but it's like a stretch, man, and like I don't think that's really gonna like get Alexander Volkanovski's dick hard, man, at all. You know, you got guys like Giga Chikadze coming up, Bryce Mitchell coming up. It's slim picking for real actual challenging fights for Alexander Volkanovski at featherweight. I know that he's talked about going up to lightweight, and that's a motherfucking shark pit. I mean, let's be honest. Max didn't do that great whenever he went up. Connor won whenever he went up. But man, I don't see Volkanovski having like a bunch of real life long term success at lightweight. I don't think. I mean, like anybody in the top 5 probably gives him the fucking business. Michael Chandler's probably the most sus out of those 5 just because of like the way he fights. I would have put Justin Gaethje in that category before, but Justin Gaethje's managed to reel it in really, really effectively over there with Trevor Whitman. So I don't put him in that category anymore. I think that it's a Shark Tank over there, and I don't see him winning many fights in the top 5 at all. I think that he's got one winnable fight against Michael Chandler. I wouldn't call him winning that. I wouldn't gamble on that. I would gamble on Michael Chandler 10 times out of 10. I mean, yeah, 10 times out of 10. So, he's dispatched Max Holloway several times. He's beaten Brian Ortega. He's beaten Chan San Jung. He's beaten all kinds of people on the come up. He's done everything the UFC's wanted him to. The UFC's been very clear that they're pretty much happy to let him do whatever he wants to do at this point. So we're going to see what calls out to Alexander Volkanovski at this point. Max Holloway, I saw that Brett Okamoto was saying that Max Holloway ought to move to 155. Bro, did you forget what happened to Max Holloway whenever he fought Dustin Poirier? At 155, my dude? Like, eesh. Now, I know Dustin Poirier is literally, like, the number 1 contender on the planet at lightweight. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like he was, like, the number 15 dude or some shit. You know what I'm saying? But, eesh. I think that Max has done more than enough for the sport. And I think that Max ought to be able to go and just ride off into the sunset taking fun fights for Max and the fans. I think they ought to put the shit to a fucking fan vote and see who they let Max fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, whoever the fans think's going to be fun. I don't think that anybody who's, like, on a run to the title or on the come up or, gatekeeping or anything like that, I don't think that anybody could be in any position where they'd want to turn down a fight with Max Holloway. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you go in there and you fight him and you win, it's gonna be great for your resume. If you go in there and you fight and you lose, it's gonna be great for your pocketbook still, and you're probably not gonna move down very much because it's fucking Max Holloway. So, if I was Max Holloway, man, I'm not Max Holloway, so clearly fucking do what the fuck you want. But I would be looking for fun matchups that the fans are going to appreciate, that they can, that's all it would be for me. Fun fights, big paydays, fan appreciation type shit. And let the fans appreciate you. So that's all that's going to happen at this point. He's a wholesome dude. He's not like some of the other guys in the UFC who aren't wholesome. You know what I'm saying? It's like after a while, you kind of get a distaste for them as characters, the way they conduct themselves on social media, the way they act in private whenever it leaks out into the public. There's several things that go on that just aren't necessarily really pretty. And Mac's always like a dad, a video gamer, like he's like grown man millennial role model type shit. And so yeah, I'm big on him. I hope that he just takes big payday fights and has fun with it for the rest of his career until he decides he doesn't want to do it anymore, or something else pulls him away, or whatever have you. I just hope that it's all good in every direction. What's next for Sean Strickland, my dude? Let's see where he's actually ranked. Don't let me be just full of shit. Wow, Sean Strickland dropped from number 3 to number 7. Damn, they're disrespecting out here. Shit, damn it, man. I don't think they ought to feed him anybody below him. He just did the UFC a big favor taking a tough fight against an unranked dude, so that they could set up a super fight between that unranked dude and Israel Adesanya. So I think they need to do right by him. Maybe you give him a lower ranked guy so we can have like a bounce back fight. You know what I'm saying? I would want to talk with Sean and see what he wants. But knowing the fucking type of lunatic that Sean is, I seriously doubt that he wants an easy fight. He's like, let me fight fucking Israel again, or let me fucking fight Israel tomorrow. He's a madman. Yeah, that dude's crazy. And so, whatever he wants to do, I'm certain that UFC is going to be happy to oblige him. Let's see here. You got Jared Cannonier coming off an L. I doubt you're going to get someone like that whenever you just took an L. Paulo Costa's a fun fight. I don't know what Paulo Costa has coming up, if they have anything. I don't know if he can even make a weight anymore, though. That guy's got some weird shit going on. I don't mean to disrespect. I don't really know too much about it, but from the outside looking in, it looks like there's some weird shit going on over there in his life, and I hope all the best for him. But he came in at like 205 pounds against fucking Marvin Vettori last time they fought, so who fucking knows what's really going on over there. But Derek Brunson, Marvin Vettori, Paulo Costa, these are guys that are ahead of him that he can maybe fight. Guys that are beneath him, Jack Hermanson, Darren Till, Andre Muniz, Kelvin Gastelum. So there's no telling. There's no telling what they wind up doing with this guy, to be honest. But these are all names that if they wound up giving him, I'd be like, cool, let's fucking do it. Because he's a fun fight all the time, no matter who he fights. The next fight, I believe, actually got fight of the night. Was a great fight. Ruthless Robbie Lawler versus Ryan Barberena. What a fight. What a fucking fight is all you can even say. It didn't go the way I thought. I thought that it was either going to be Ryan Barberena getting the win in the first round, overwhelming Robbie Lawler, which I think he threw like 170 fucking strikes in the first round or something. Like some insane number of strikes that homie threw in the first round. So it went the way I thought it would in the first round, but I thought that Robbie Lawler would be able to turn it on. Robbie Lawler has that second gear whenever the fight's on the line and he's hurt and shit's crazy, and he just fucking bites down on his mouthpiece and walks forward and destroys. And I thought that's what he was going to do. I thought that Ryan Barberena was going to get tired from trying to blow his arms out and win the fight in the first round against a dude that he couldn't put away. And then Robbie Lawler was going to engage beast mode once Ryan got tired, and it was going to be like a tired Ryan Barberena against a beast mode Robbie Lawler. And I think that anybody can see where I'm heading with this, right? It seemed like it would be a Robbie Lawler win to me if it went outside of the first round. But 4 minutes and 47 seconds into the second round, and Ryan Barberena got the job done. So it was like 13 seconds left, and he got the job done. And he just overwhelmed Robbie Lawler. And that's the only way to really put it, is that he just totally overwhelmed Robbie Lawler. Punches and bunches to the body, to the head. He rocked him with a right hand, and he started wobbling. And at that, with the type of volume that Ryan's putting out, even if he's not punching the super hardest, at 170 pounds, everybody packs a relative amount of heat. Everybody punches hard at 170 fucking pounds. So, whatever, whoever, as long as he kept putting good power on him, it was going to be a short night at the office. And that's exactly what he did. He just kept touching him, and the ref called it. And I wasn't mad at the stoppage at all. Like, it was, it was a just stoppage. I ain't mad at it at all. But it does not appear as though he's in the top 15. And him, Michel Pereira would be a crazy fight. Li Ji Lang would be a crazy fight. Geoff Neal would be a crazy fight. Yeah, I mean, any of these guys in like the bottom third of the top 15 at welterweight would be really, really fun fights for Ryan Barberena, and I wouldn't be mad if any of them went down at all. Robbie Lawler, obviously, he's a legend. They're going to let him I would imagine they're going to let him keep fighting. If they cut Robbie Lawler, man, I'm going to have like some personal bones to pick with the brass over at the UFC. It's very impolite. But, again, we don't need to get wound up over things that haven't necessarily happened in real life. Sean O'Malley and Pedro Munoz got canceled, or not canceled, was considered a draw, no contest. Sean O'Malley accidentally poked Pedro Munoz in the eye, and it scratched Pedro Munoz's cornea. And, it ended the fight. I mean, you can't fight whenever you can't see. You can't see when you got a scratched cornea, so that's that. I mean, the doctor don't lie. When the doctor's like, you got a motherfucking scratched cornea, the guy wasn't making it up. I've seen some people online trying to say that Pedro Munoz was faking and this and that, and it's like, bruh, he went to the fucking doctor. The doctor looked at it. He fucked his shit up. Fuck off. Don't be a fucking dork. These guys are pro fighters. These guys take ass whoopings in the gym on the fucking daily. They're not about to fucking put their tail between their legs on the one night out of the year where they really get to cut loose and do what they do at full speed and have fun and get paid for it. You're a fucking moron. Talk that type of dumbass shit online. Lauren Murphy Miesha Tate got canceled. That sucks. That'd been a fun fight. Prelims, Jalen Turner looked fantastic. I was really, really impressed with old Jalen Turner. He's good. It's kind of a salty record at 13-5, but what can you do? It's it's combat sports. But he got the submission on Braverdell in 45 seconds, which was really cool. He's got long arms. Yeah, a lot of these guys in the UFC have got long arms. They seem to have once they hurt you, they can just slip you in darces and stuff. Something like, think Tony Ferguson, the way Tony Ferguson would get people all the time. Jalen Turner got someone kind of like that hurt him with the punches, fell into a darce. That's life. Jim Miller got the win against Donald Cerrone. Retired Don. Retired Cowboy. Cowboy's a legend, man. Everybody loves Cowboy. He's going to go do movies and shit. He's going to keep doing great and having fun and ride off into the sunset. And I couldn't be happier for the guy. He's had a wonderful career. This fight with Jim Miller, they were, I believe, tied for the record for the number of wins in the UFC. And whoever won, obviously, was going to, have the record to themselves. And Jim Miller did it, right? A minute and 30 seconds into the second round. He wound up choking Donald Cerrone, if I recall correctly. Yeah, they wound up... I don't remember exactly how it went down. I believe that Jim Miller hurt him with the hands and they went to the ground, if I remember that correctly. But Jim A10 Miller now sits atop the mountain for wins in the UFC and retired Donald Cowboy Cerrone. And good on him, and God bless Donald Cowboy Cerrone. I hope nothing but the best for him. Hope it all works out. Looking forward to see what comes next for Cowboy out there in the real world. Ian Gary, 10-0. I like Ian Gary a lot, man. Let's see where is he even anywhere? No, he's not ranked at all, but he's undefeated at 10-0, and he's looked really impressive in the UFC so far. I'm really looking forward to see what's going to come next for him. And he beat a dude named Gabe Green, who's 11-4, who's no punk ass bitch. Like, good win. Brad Tavares and Dricus du Plessis made it to my top fights list. These guys fought it the fuck out for the entire fight. I thoroughly enjoyed this fight. Feel like the judges got it right. I was pulling for Brad Tavares, so it sucks. I picked du Plessis, but you know how it is. You know, you have your like numbers mind where you're making your gambles, and you have your heart mind where you like want shit to go, and like I wanted shit to go in Brad's way, even if I was picking against him. So that's life. Let's see, anything decent in the early prelims? Uriah Hall lost a decision to Andre Muniz. Macy Barber looked good in a 3-round decision over Jessica Ai. And, oh my god, Julia Storyolenko, man, snapped the fuck out of Jessica Rose Clark's arm. Like, I don't know if she broke it or if she dislocated it, but it was gruesome. And, yeah, rough stuff. But that's 276. I am going to take a quick look back at the fights that happened between 275 and 276, just like a couple fights each. And then we're going to talk about the fights leading up to and including 277. So looking back, fight night, Cater versus Emmett. Great fight. Josh Emmett won a decision against Calvin Cater. I was in the stands. I thought Calvin Cater won. Maybe I'm just blind. Y'all saw I wear glasses, and you're there, smoking, drinking, having a good time. Who knows? But I know that I really thought that Cater won the fight when I watched it there in person. Kevin Holland, he's a fucking modern day superhero. Got the submission over Tim Means in a minute and a half in the second round. Again, long arms. We were just talking about it. Hurt Tim Means. Tim Means went in for like a desperation takedown to avoid damage and fell into a Darce, and that was that. Joaquin Buckley got the TKO between the second and third rounds. Albert couldn't make it off the stool. He was either hurt or something like that. I can't quite recall. I think his eye was fucked up or something like that. RoboCop Rodriguez got the super impressive knockout over Julian Marquez in the first round. I had picked Julian Marquez, and I was clearly fucking wrong. Yeah. Jeremiah Wells knocked out Court McGee, looked fantastic. And that's all we're going to do on that one. ESPN on UFC, Sarukian versus Gamro. Man, Sarukian versus Gamro also made it to my top fights list. These guys fought it out for 5 rounds. Gamro got the 5-round decision. I believe that Gamro lost the first 2 rounds and had to rally. Sakvat Rachmanov absolutely dominated Neil Magny. I don't think I've ever seen Neil Magny get handled on the ground the way he got handled on the ground. It was pretty goddamn impressive. If I wasn't sold on Sakvat before, I definitely am now. Josh Parisian got a TKO over Alan Boudreaux, but he did not look like a world beater. Thiago Moises submitted Christos Giagos. And Umar Nurmagomedov looked like a world beater against Nathan Manis. So yeah, that train is still rolling over there. The next fight's coming up is UFC Fight Night Dos Anjos versus Fiziev. This is going to be a great fight. Fiziev is hella fun, spinning kicks, body kicks, tough dude, great octagon control, great pace against Rafael Dos Anjos, a gritty, tough veteran who makes every fight he's in fun. So you've got, there's just 0% chance it's a bad fight. Tune in for it. Chao Baralho, big fan of this guy. He came in off the Contender Series. Has a fun personality and keeps winning in exciting fashion. Against Armin Petrosian, I'm not too familiar with him, but he's 7-1, and with a name like that, he's probably going to wrestle and shit. So, probably be a tough night at the office for Baralho. Douglas Silva de Andrade fighting Said Nurmagomedov. Nurmagomedov's all over the place. We'll see how that one goes. I mean, we know what's going to happen. You've got Brazilian guy probably wanting to throw bombs and do jiu-jitsu against Nurmagomedov trying to kickbox and wrestle. You know how this shit goes. We've seen this enough. Jared Vandera versus Chase Sherman. This will be a fun fight. As long as they don't gas out and start leaning on each other. Heavyweight, you know how that shit goes. Got Michael Johnson fighting Jamie Malarkey. It'd be fun to see Michael Johnson fight. I'm a big Michael Johnson fan. He's always had fun fights. So, hope to see him win. Salty record, 21-17. It's damn near 500, my dude. I'd love to see you get a win. Anything happening in the prelims that I want to talk about? Antonina Shevchenko, Courtney Casey. Kennedy Njoku versus Carl Roberson. Kennedy's one of those guys that, it'll be fun to see. He's like a big athletic dude, but it doesn't seem like he's like, he doesn't like want to punch people in the fucking face. So we'll see how it pans out for him. We got UFC Fight Night Ortega versus Rodriguez. It's a fun fight. Winner of this could potentially have an argument to go fight Volkanovski. Yeah, whoever wins this could have an argument to face Volkanovski, but I think that Josh Emmett's that dude right now. I think that Josh Emmett's that dude. Maybe he goes and takes a fun fight off on the side, like a lightweight fight, and the winner of Brian Ortega and Yair Rodriguez fights Josh Emmett. That's nothing important. Thanks for messing up my flow in the podcast. But that's my bad. I should have my shit on Do Not Disturb. But so I could see a circumstance where you have the winner of Brian Ortega versus Yair Rodriguez fight Josh Emmett for a title eliminator fight, while what's his name, Volkanovski goes and has like a big money bag fight somewhere else. I feel like this is Brian Ortega's fight right here, for sure. Neji, buddy, come here. Neji, come here. Hey, Neji, come here. Look at this good boy. Oh, look at that good boy. What a good boy. What a dog. I'm a sucker for dogs. Hey, Neji, go to your house. Go to your house. Come on. Dude's literally 2 feet away from me licking his balls. It's great. The trials of doing the podcast at the house. Thank you for going to your house, buddy. It's a good boy. You stay there. Give me like 10 minutes, bro. 10 minutes. But yeah, Brian Ortega, obviously, jiu-jitsu ace, Yair Rodriguez, kickboxing guy. Yair, probably the more explosive guy. Brian Ortega, probably the tougher guy. If I had to pick, I'd probably say Brian Ortega. If it goes 5 rounds, Brian's toughness is going to show. And also, like, the longer you're in there with Brian Ortega, the more chances it are that you're going to get caught with something weird, which he will catch you with. You've got Michelle Watterson and Amanda Lemos, which is going to be a fun fight over at women's strawweight. Li Ji Lang and Muslim Salikov. Not too familiar with Muslim Salikov, but I know Li Ji Lang makes fun fights. Shane Burgos, Charles Jourdain. That's going to be a fun fight. Lauren Murphy, Miesha Tate. That's where that got rescheduled to. Neat. Fun card. Curtis Blades, Tom Aspinall. I'm excited about this fight. That's a UFC fight night where they're headlining. This is a big fight, dudes. Curtis Blades can't seem to get the job done against Francis Ngannou, so he's kind of like gatekeeping now. And if he beats Tom Aspinall, I think that he could make a real argument for getting a shot at the title. You know, depending on how it shakes out. I know there's like this weird thing going on between Francis, John, and Stipe right now, but if Curtis wins this fight, he's right there, like really back in that mix. And if Tom Aspinall wins, he's definitely in that mix. And I'm real big on Tom Aspinall. Like, he is fantastic. He's truly fantastic. I'm a real big fan. He's got like hellaciously good Brazilian jiu-jitsu. His dad was a jiu-jitsu coach. His boxing is fantastic. Super fast hands, super good cardio. New breed of heavyweight. Gonna give anybody trouble. And Curtis Blades is known to be chinny. I think Tom Aspinall might piece him up. But then again, Curtis Blades might body slam him and get on top of him and beat the dog shit out of him, because that's what Curtis Blades does. So who fucking knows? I don't know how to pick that. It's like my brain says Curtis Blades because he's more experienced and he's larger and he has the wrestling skill set. But then my heart tells me Tom Aspinall because he's young and hot and on the come up, and he's got the big power, and Curtis is chinny. And, you know, if you have big power as an underdog, I like to bet on you. So, you know, if Tom comes in an underdog, maybe gamble on him. Yeah, maybe gamble on him. Jack Hermanson, Darren Till, that's going to be a crazy fight. Who knows how that's going to go. Yeah, all I know is that we're going to win. Patty Pimblett, Jordan Levitt, that's going to be a fun fight. That's 2 interesting characters. And then light heavyweight, Nikita Krylov versus Alexander Gustafsson. So fun to see Alexander Gustafsson fighting again. Molly McCann versus Hannah Goldie. That'll be a fun fight. Bearju, Paul Craig versus Volkan Ozdemir at light heavyweight. Damn. That's a fight night? Nice. That's gonna be a good card, bro. Like, top action at heavyweight, top action at middleweight, up and comers fighting at light heavyweight or at lightweight, legends fighting at light heavyweight, fun fight at women's flyweight, great fights at light heavyweight. Yeah, this will be a great fucking card. You better believe I'm not gonna miss that. I don't miss any cards, but you better believe I'm tuned into that. Oh, and then 277. I'm gonna be at this card in Dallas. So we're hitting the Texas trifecta. We did the Dallas card, the Austin card, and the Houston card. This is the Dallas card. This is the last one of the year that we're gonna go to on the year. Me and my boys, my brother and my good friend Chris, and whoever else might tag on, but it's usually Kevin, Chris, and I. Juliana Pena is defending her belt against Amanda Nunes. We're gonna see, man. Amanda Nunes had a baby and like started fucking farming and taking care of goats and like wasn't in the gym, and like we're gonna see. Maybe she lost and maybe she like re-fucking focused on fighting and she's gonna come back like a tiger. We're gonna see. Hard to pick against Juliana Pena whenever she did what she did last time. We're gonna see how that pans out. Brendan Marino, Kai Kara France. That's a fun fight. Those are two dudes who don't fuck around. Brendan Marino defending his belt. Yeah. Derek Lewis fighting in Texas against Sergey Pavlovich. Ooh, that's a fun fight. Magomed Ankalaev versus Anthony Smith. That's a fun fight. That's a real test for Magomed. Holocaust, the Luke Rockhold canceling the fucking figure. Drew Dober, Rafael Alves. That's fun. Justin Tafa versus Don Tale Mayes. I'm not too familiar with him, but I know Justin Tafa's fun. Drakkar Klose, Carlos Diego Ferreira. That's gonna be a fun fight, bro. Fun fights all around. But that's 277. That's as far as we're gonna go. Everybody, I appreciate y'all so much for tuning in. Armchair Army, you know what I'm talking about. Appreciate y'all big time for tuning in. It's all love. Like, share, visit Armchair on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, all that bullshit. Go give us some fucking follows and stuff. That's what makes people feel like we're fucking valuable, right? We'll go get some moving and shaking done. You guys start giving us some subs. I can afford to get some merch in. You can start rocking some cool shit. You know what I'm talking about? But sometime between here and there, hopefully you'll enjoy the podcast. Everybody, this is Joshua, Armchair Army. Peace out.
Monkey mouth, monkey mouth, monkey mouth, monkey mouth.